So what are we doing to ourselves right now? What is actually happening to us? You know, let me play a clip from Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson yesterday.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who claims...
You don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
Who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
Israel.
Israel.
High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
This is one of the saddest people. This is one of the saddest clips I've seen in a long time. I like Tucker Carlson and I like Ted Cruz. I'll tell you a story about a small town. It's not unlike yours, not unlike mine. 3 men lived side by side. One was a baker. One was a preacher. One was a school teacher. They had known each other for years. They had raised their kids together. They sat on the same bleachers at football games. They argued about taxes at the diner. They brought pies to one another's porches when life fell apart for that family. And they didn't agree on a lot of things. One of them was a conservative. Another one was a liberal. The preacher, he was more concerned about heaven than Washington. But they all talked. They disagreed. They argued sometimes. They listened. Because somewhere deep down, they had one thing in common. They cared. They cared about their town. They cared about their kids. They cared about what kind of life they were leaving behind for those kids. Then a storm came. Bad storm. Not of wind and rain and lightning and thunder, but of ideas, headlines, hashtags, rumors, bots, people all around that wanted to separate these 3 men. They began to mistrust. It was a storm that whispered in their ears, he's not just wrong, he's evil. She's not just different, she's dangerous. And little by little, the voices that had once shared coffee and laughter were replaced with silence. Then suspicion. Then contempt. And then the baker accused the teacher of brainwashing his kids, and the teacher called the preacher a bigot, and the preacher, heartbroken, went to his chapel wondering, what has happened? What has happened? And one by one, they all just stopped speaking to one another. They sat on the same bleachers, but on opposite ends now. They passed each other, but they passed in silence. When one's house burned down, nobody called the others to help. Now, let me ask you, how close are we to that moment? How many of our friendships are already buried deep under the weight of a single disagreement? I have been wrong in my life more than I've been right. Are you right more often than you're wrong? I am wrong more often than I am right. And I am wrong. I hope I'm getting better at this, but I am wrong. And it is only in my arrogance that I fail to say, wow, that was a huge mistake. When did we forget to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt? When did we forget being wrong doesn't make you wicked? What kind of country are we building if no one is allowed to be right? No, sorry. Let me say this right. When no one is allowed to be wrong on their way to becoming right. Because when I'm wrong, I learn from it, and I become more right the next time. What kind of country will we have if no one is allowed to be wrong on their way to becoming right, or having serious disagreements on how we view something, but we still have the same love of country and the same basic understanding of what this country means, and yet we blow each other up? There's no need for an enemy. Judging right from wrong isn't just about being right. It's about how we do it. Do we look at another person's intent? Or do we look at just their latest post and not really even know the person? Do we try to understand, or do we rush to destroy? I can say so many great things about Tucker Carlson and his intent and what he believes. He believes in the same kind of country I do. He believes in freedom. We don't necessarily agree on the way to get there, but I don't doubt his love for country, and I don't doubt Ted Cruz's love of country. And we don't agree on everything. But I'm not an enemy of those two, and neither of them are enemies of one another, and yet now they are. Now you are forced to decide which one is on your side. We're holding others to standards we can't survive ourselves. You have to be in complete alignment with me, and not the Constitution, but with me and my friends, and the friends that I have today, because I might turn on my friends tomorrow because they don't agree with me. What is left? You'll be left standing alone. You might be right, but you'll be surrounded with nothing. Trust takes time. Violation of that trust happens quickly. But how many times have we really been violated recently? How many times have people really violated our trust? And how many times has that violation come from a post where you didn't even really hear the full context? Or somebody who is just grinding axes because you like both of them. But they are just going at it because in the heated moment, they can't find a way to each other. And neither one of them is willing to take a breath and say, can we start this conversation again? And if they did, you're not going to see that on social media. You'll never know if they did that. Trust takes time. Humility takes practice. And grace is the one thing we all want for ourselves, but seem like we're unwilling to give it to anybody else. It's easy to win an argument. It is really hard to win a person. So maybe we should ask ourselves a couple of questions here. Am I listening to respond? Because I think that's what most of us do. We listen to respond, and we respond to win. Are we listening to respond, or are we listening to understand? Do we want truth, or do we want a victory? Am I giving others the freedom to change their mind? Like I may have to tomorrow. We're headed towards a very different nation where all of us, we're going to be a nation of very lonely victors. I won. And the echo just keeps on going because no one is around. We're all sitting on a hill of ashes shouting, I was right. Look, I don't agree with a lot of things, and I get really hot sometimes because I can't believe people's stupidity. But you know what? I've been really stupid at times too. I think humility is the key to all of this. And we're all in our lizard brains. And now our final battle, we're just tearing each other apart. We're tearing our own side apart. I mean, look at what happened with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. I like both of those men. I didn't want to see those guys fight. I still don't want to see those guys fight. I would love to see them. It would be great. It would be awesome if they could come together. And even if when they came together, they hugged it out and said, I don't agree with everything he says, but he's still my friend. And we're still on the same fight. I don't agree with what he's doing here, and here. And he doesn't agree with me here, and here. But we know one thing. This country is worth saving. And while we might disagree on how to get there, we both know we have to get there. And if we continue to divide ourselves, there will be no one left to enjoy the country, and we'll never be able to save it by ourselves. So we can either just keep bashing each other and you know, I give this monologue to me as well. I want you to know. It is so hard for me to give you the monologue I'm giving you right now for a couple of reasons. It's not the monologue I want to give. The monologue I want to give, is really passionate. It's also not the monologue you want me to give. Because do you know what is happening with AI right now? Right now with AI, they are now changing the algorithms to give you the answer you are looking for. We are now training AI to put us into more of a bubble and convince all of us that we are right because it will give you the answer you want. Could anything be more destructive? When the lights go out, the schools burn down, your house burns down. When the next storm rolls in, it ain't going to be our righteousness that saves us. It's going to be the friend. It's going to be the family member that's still willing to pick up the phone, even after the last disagreement, and say, I'm here for you. I'm coming to help.